Hey, I'm James Hines.
And I'm Krishan Gibbons. And today's episode's on Conversations. We're here with Steve Hodges, also known as
DJ Deathstroke. What's going on with you, man?
What's going on, y'all? Thanks y'all for having me.
Hey, we are very welcome to have you, man.
So it says here, Steve, that you're from the south side of Chicago. You're a graduate assistant from the GBCC at Western with a master's in the IDT, associates in media communications at Kennedy King College, a bachelor's at broadcasting at Westerns, and you DJ 2 radio stations on campus.
What?
Yeah,
we
I
got big man. That's big man on campus.
So Steve, tell me, what made you choose to become a bachelor's in broadcasting?
Well, I got my associates in media communications at Kennedy King, and then when I was looking around for a four-year university, it was only two other schools that had broadcasting programs that I wanted to go to, like Southern, but that was too far from home. Columbia cost too much money at home, so I came to Western, which was the best choice.
How'd you find out about our program?
I had a few friends that went to Western back in the 90s. They told me about the broadcasting program and the radio station. I was like, that's something I could do, but I want to be too far from home because I got two small children. So Southern was out of the question because that's 6 hours. So Western at 3.5, something that was doable, and I can afford Western.
Okay, well, DJ Deathstroke, how long have you been involved with broadcasting?
I've been doing broadcasting now for about the last 10 years. It's been an up and down roller coaster for me. I started at WYCC in Chicago. I was interning there. Then I went and did school at Kennedy King when they put the TV station at the school. It's been one of those things that's just been every day is something different. Like when I took my first TV class, I didn't really think I was gonna like it. I only took it because it was the only class that was available, and I needed 12 hours. You know how that goes.
So it just ended up as a blessing, probably.
Right. I took that one class, and next thing you know, here I am now, you know.
DJ Deathstroke.
One of the best video editors that graduated from my school. I graduated, and when I graduated in 2010, I was certified in Final Cut 6 and 7. No, nobody else in the building was certified. So I think that was an accomplishment for myself.
Yeah, that's definitely a good quality to have. Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man.
So with this DJing stuff, what radio stations do you DJ in?
Right now, I'm doing WIUS 88.3, The Dog, you know, the best station in Macomb.
Okay.
The only station that plays urban.
How long have you been DJing for these stations?
I've been at The Dog since I got to Western back in 2010. And when I first got there, you know, I was like, it's one of them, because I came from KKC where, you know, it's a little bit different. It's a college station, but they treat it as a commercial station.
Okay.
This is a non-commercial station that they treated as non-commercial. So I had more fun here because it was a little less restrictive.
Okay.
Well, what time of day do you really prefer on being on the air, on radio?
I used to do, before they went to this new 2-hour thing, I was doing like 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. That's when most people get home. They already relaxed, you know what I'm saying, and they ready to unwind. And I do a slow jam show, so, you know, that puts people, you know what I'm saying, in the mood to go to sleep, to relax, to do homework, because it's the music that they don't really hear all the time. It's not that same stuff that they hear when they watching TV. It puts them in a different state of mind.
So is it safe to say that's your favorite time to do it?
I mean,
be on air, or what
I also do Saturday mornings where people are getting up and they cleaning. So I provide music for them to clean their houses too, because 8 o'clock in the morning, most folks are just getting up, trying to get ready for the day. So I provide a soundtrack for them to do that.
So you a motivational radio? Okay, I see. You motivate people to be ready for whatever mood they in.
Right, I try.
I get you.
Okay, so what type of advice would you give someone that's interested in pursuing the career that you pursued?
I mean, just if it's something that you want to do, find you some mentors that's already in the business. Stick to them and learn whatever it is they trying to teach you. Learn it. Buy books. I mean, I know a lot of college students, you know, they get tired of reading books, but you can never not, you know what I'm saying, have enough books when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, editing, audio, video. Because you never know when you're going to need to refer to those books. You never know when you're going to go to a company and they got this piece of software that you don't know nothing about, but you already got a book somewhere.
Okay.
So what type of steps should they take?
I mean, take classes. You know, I mean, I know a lot of folks like to do a YouTube thing. You know, you can learn a lot from YouTube. But, you know, if you don't have an instructor that's sitting there with you to walk you through all these steps, then you're pretty much wasting your time. Because you need somebody that'll reinforce whatever it is that you're learning in these YouTube videos or reading in these books. Somebody that's already been there, done that, that can give you a constructive criticism on what it is that you're doing. And then you just take that criticism and build on it.
Okay.
Okay. Can you elaborate on why broadcasting could benefit other students that's pursuing a job such as yours or any other positions? I
mean, in this day and age, you know, you have to have a degree in order to do pretty much anything. Right. A degree in broadcasting says a lot. I'm saying, because especially here at Western, you know, it's not just focused on one thing. When you come into the broadcasting program, you get radio, you get TV, you get performance. You pick and choose what it is that you want to do that makes you a well-rounded person. So when you graduate from this institution, there's nobody that's going to tell you no, because you can do whatever it is they want you to do.
Right, you'll be ready for anything.
Right, you're a jack of all trades. You can do whatever job they throw you in, you should be able to handle it.
Right, especially being a broadcasting student from Western. I heard Western is like one of the most known broadcasting schools even in the country, period.
Right, we got some of the best instructors.
Right.
So we got folks that's been in the game so long, you know, you talking about 500-600 years of experience on one floor with no windows, you know, so the information never leaves.
So, all right.
So what was your first experience of music mixing, and like when did you realize you were good at it?
I've been DJing, spinning records since I was a freshman in high school back in '89, because my best friend did it. It was a way for us to not go out in the streets and do what all the other folks that we grew up with were doing on the south side of Chicago. This was our safe haven. So that's the reason I started. Then I got away from it for a while because I went to the military, wanted to do other things. Then about 2007, somebody asked me to do a party. I was like, you know, I ain't really did this in a while, but I'm gonna try it. Next thing you know, now I'm right back at it like I never stopped.
Was the party in Chicago or was it here in Western?
The party was, I started doing parties back at Kennedy King because we didn't have really a house DJ. So we got tired of paying somebody an exorbitant amount of money to do the same thing that one of the students could do at a cheaper rate.
Okay, well, what type of music do you like playing at your DJ parties or whatever you throw?
I mean, you know, I'm an old school hip hop guy because that's what I grew up on. I grew up I started DJing in the 90s, so those are the records that taught me how to DJ, so those are the records that I would prefer to play.
Something like Tupac or, you know,
I mean, you know, you got
party music.
Right, all your conscious hip hop, you know, I'm saying the early hip hop, you know, the BDPs, the Eric B. and Rakim. I'm saying when hip hop was different than it is now, you know, I don't have nothing against what's going on now. It's just not me.
Right.
I will play it. I learned to love it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what my parties consist of here at Western. So, you know, I know all the records. I like the music, but it's just not who I am.
Okay. So, who are some influential people in your life like that motivates you?
Like I would say, like my kids. Like I have a 10-year-old. You know, she's an A student, and she calls me to ask me if I'm doing my homework. I should be calling her, asking her that question. But she calls to ask me, am I doing my homework? Like some of my instructors here at Western, you know, when I first got here, I felt like an outcast, you know, being the oldest dude on the floor. And the instructors there, you know, like Pat Stout, Sam Etzel, they took me in, you know, and made me feel like I was one of the regular students. So, you know, and I just loved them for that. You know, they didn't make me feel like I was the old man in the room. They treated me like everybody else. So I tried to perform like everybody else.
Right. Why is your position as a graduate assistant at the GBCC Center important? Because I heard you doing big things over there. You got a little, you know. I mean,
as a grad assistant, I advised 3 different student groups. I advised the Black Student Association, Cultural Expressions, and the African Student Association. The Black Student Association, BSA, is probably one of the biggest organizations on this campus.
Right.
And especially for African Americans, we do a lot of programming for them. And my job is to make sure that all the programs get done and make sure all the money is spent properly. And to get we want people to know that it's not just for Black students, it's for all students.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because, we're the Black Student Association, we don't exclude anybody. We want folks to come out. We want to collaborate with other groups on this campus so we can get our name out there and do other things in the community that are, put a better name for Western out there to the rest of the world.
Right.
How do you feel like what you're doing has an impact on your life?
I mean,
Or does it?
It really does, because like when I took the job as a grad assistant, this was something that was brand new. I was an IT professional for 20 years. I was a DJ. I did, stuff that was non-administrative. So taking this job, seeing how much, my life influences my students' lives, it's proud. It makes me proud. When I come back to the third floor of Salee and folks, ask me for my assistance, even though I'm not even a student over there anymore, but they come to me for advice. It does me, it does my heart good to know that, I'm helping others. Because I used to be in that spot and somebody helped me. So I want to give back, to the other folks on the third floor of Salee.
Yeah. Well, Mr. DJ Deathstroke, what do you see yourself in the future? What do you see your field, such as DJing, is coming to in the future?
As a DJ, the door is wide open. It's so much technology out here. In 5 years, I probably will be doing parties from the house. I won't even have to go to a club no more. I can spend a party directly from my crib and watch it online. And we're getting a master's in IDT, in Instructional Design and Technology. I partnered that with my broadcasting degree, to create instructional videos. So now, I can have the best of both worlds. So whenever I get out to the real world, there's nothing that they can tell me I can't do, because I've already done it all.
Okay.
Have you traveled when you were DJing? And if so, what places have you gone?
I did parties in New York, parties in Atlanta, parties in Texas. So I got friends and family there. And the party scene is different everywhere you go. So it's one of those things, as a DJ, you have to learn whatever the climate is, and try to adapt. But there, it's always going to be what I like to call, timeless classics that you can play for anybody, anywhere. Don't make a difference. They gonna dance.
Man.
Do you play more upbeat type of music?
It all depends on who I'm doing a party for.
For New York, do you play more fast or more slow?
When I was in New York, they did a lot of trance, a lot of electronic stuff, but then when you go into the boroughs, they do a lot of old school hip hop parties. That was where I was comfortable, because that stuff that I know. It's easy to mix records that you know about versus trying to mix records that you really don't know, and you really don't know the crowd, so you don't know. It might be a hot record in Chicago, not so hot in New York.
Right.
It might be a hot record in Texas, and folks in Chicago looking at me crazy.
So when you travel, you have to do research before you travel to that certain, right.
I talk to my friends in those places saying, what kind of music y'all listen to? Send me the stuff that y'all listening to.
Right.
That way I can already have an ear on it, so when I get there,
it won't be.
It's not a shock to my ears. So when somebody come ask for a record, I'm like,
what?
What's that? Well, I have it and I never even played it before. Right. So now I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate that into what it is I'm doing for that night.
Okay, you got an example of like one moment where you knew it was a hard task because it was a different type of crowd? Like an example?
Anytime I go out of town, the first thing I do, play line records. Everybody loves a line dance. No matter where you go, they wobble, they cha-cha slide, they juke slide all over the country.
Well, man, I've been enjoying your company and just knowing about how you came up to where you are now, and it's been a nice conversation, man.
I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out to even invite me here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too, man.
No problem.
And that's this week's For This Conversations episode. Thank you. I'm Krishan Givens.
And I'm James Hines.